Good morning. Greetings from Germany. I just put a bit of material together for you to go through the lesson, and I'm going to try out the new Screencast-O-Matic program that I bought. So I just present some of the handouts and look at some assignment questions. But first of all, I want you to go on a tour to see where my accent comes from, just the backyard here of my parents where I grew up. You can see some raised beds here. So a typical German house, and also typically with solar cells on the roof. Bad day for today. And here you can see a little garden pond that I made when I was about 16, so that's about 40 years old. And heaps of newts in there, so it's a good insect hotel. Bit of a collection of blacksmithing tools. My grandfather was a farmer and a hoofsmith. We're going up onto the roof of the garage now that's cemented. I started doing a garden up there and it was still asbestos roof. And I can see an abundance of chives. There's a solar hot water heater there. And that's where tomatoes get started in cold frame. Keep in mind it's early summer or rather late spring here. It's still quite cold. And that used to be designed as a garden village here. Every house had about a quarter acre or half an acre section, and they were pretty much self-sufficient at some point. I put just one example in from the Vegetable Growers Handbook. You might have to find more yourself, or you look it up somewhere else. But here in the Vegetable Handbook, you can find. Yeah, so these handouts on species, they're important for your question 13b. There's also some questions on green manure requirements. The only one that you find in the Growers Handbook would be on broad beans, which are perfect green manure. For other green manures, we can have a look at the talk about that at my own place later on. There's also a chapter on plant nutrition, and what it shows you is the signs of deficiency, how they are expressed in plants in general. There's also another section in the book which I haven't copied for you, which tells you exactly for the specific crop how to detect deficiency of specific minerals. But that's not required at the moment. Here you find a table on the effects of using shows you is that you need so much more lime to correct the acidity on a clay soil than you do on a sandy soil. The reason for that is that the clay soil can take up a lot of calcium. It can buffer it before it actually affects the pH. So putting something alkaline on a sandy soil can quickly get the pH up, possibly even too high. So be careful and be aware that the amount of lime that you use depends on the type of soil. For question 18, which I believe you will do with Justin, you have to look at the comparison between soil amendments and fertilizers of organics and conventional. And you have to list different types of fertilizers and their advantages, disadvantages. That means, for instance, high nitrogen or a cheap potash fertilizer can be an advantage. Disadvantages can be an acid-forming fertilizer, such as ammonium nitrate, or being too expensive, or being contaminated with cadmium. You need to look at these things. So that's for question 18. So these fertilizers, we can see listed here how much of each element do they contain. That means if you're looking for a cheap phosphate fertilizer, you have to look for one which has high amount of phosphate, and it needs to be cheap, so it is a cheap phosphate fertilizer. Now, down below here, you have some calculations how you then actually calculate the amount of a fertilizer you need to supply that amount that is required for your crop per hectare. Now, you're lucky it's not required in the assignment, so you can be calm about that. Don't worry about it. For question 22, you have organic pesticides, and here you have organic pest control agents, and on the handout there are a few listed, and you can see they vary between chemical and physical to some degree. So you look at those and the ones that are put in the other document that I attached to the topic, and you have to use some of those for your assignment and explain the advantages and disadvantages in the mode of action. With organic pest control, keep in mind a lot of these approaches, they work in combination. So first of all, of course, is a good plant nutrition, which makes the plants less attractive to damaging insects. And then equally important is to provide host plants and a habitat for natural predators. And your last resort should be an insecticide of any type, even if it's organic, because it does kill too many other beneficial insects. So there's a lot to do before you get to that point. And remember the example of using mechanic control taking stink bugs out with your hands, or do it faster with the vacuum cleaner. You have something like that. It was very effective, but at the same time, I must also give credit to probably some other predators who did part of the work, and with my help on top of it, they got pretty much extinct in that field. So what other biological control could there be for green vegetable bugs? There's a wasp that parasites the eggs. There's a German wasp which eats the bug in all stages. There might be praying mantis doing the same. There might be birds, wax eyes, kingfishers that go for bugs in the different stages. There might be quails doing something, or the pheasants going through there. I could release chickens in there periodically. All these things come together, but these approaches would normally not harm their predators. As soon as I would use some organic poison, there would be also a lot of damage to predators. So that is for question 22, which I believe you do with Justin on Thursday, Friday. Question 16. We shall do at some other point together. And also all the questions about certification at the end of the assignment, we will do together too. So question 15, 16, 17, we do together. And please don't forget to look at your pot plants and see how they develop. Take pictures, write down your observations. If you feel it's the end of the experiment, just take them out, look at their root pictures, compare the root development between all of them. The idea of trichoderma being that it enhances root development, so that would be an interesting parameter to look at. In June, before the end of the course, I would like you to come to my place. I can make available 2 separate days, so you should be able to at least attend one of them, and we do practical weed management. And that would then give you the knowledge for question 20, and we do the practical one in my place, question 21. I made the section on weed control visible on NorseNet. Please have a look at it in preparation. Okay, that's it. Thanks for your attention and have a great day.